That is the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, and when you cross it heading north, you are going towards Tropicana Field, and that's where the Yankees will be today, right here on Pix 11. It'll be the Yankees against the Tampa Bay Rays in the final game of a 3-game series from Tropicana Field here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Hi, everybody. Ken Singleton along with John Flaherty. The Yankees and the Rays will close out this series. The Yankees won on Friday night 4-1. The Rays stormed back yesterday. They won by a score of 9-5 as they roughed up Michael Pineda. Let's check out our pitching matchup this afternoon. It's going to be Jake Odorizzi going for the Rays. He's 2-2 with a 3.46 ERA. For the Yankees, the red hot Nathan Eovaldi gets the start, 5-2 with a 3.95. His last start was very good against the Blue Jays.
Well, he's been on one of those runs, Kenny, where he has all 4 of his pitches going, but really it has been the split finger fastball for Eovaldi and the action down in the zone that has taken him to another level. That outing against Toronto, 6 innings, 6 shutout innings against the Blue Jays, and because of that split finger fastball, Nathan Eovaldi is becoming a very reliable starter in that Yankee rotation.
Well, let's take a look at the numbers from his last 4 starts. 4-0 for Eovaldi, 2.16 ERA. That's very, very good. The innings, the strikeouts, the walks, the opponents are hitting just 193, and 3 hits allowed in his last 12 innings. And he's looking for some help from his offense and primarily his catcher.
Well, Brian McCann's going to be hitting in the middle of the lineup, and he has great numbers against Odorizzi. You see there 600, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. He's a hot hitter, which is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Yankees hoping that McCann will get the job done again in the middle of the lineup for them this afternoon.
Holiday weekend continues here in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Yankees pick up a win. They'll take 2 out of 3. Will they have those wins in pocket as they head to Toronto? All is brought to you by Hyundai. Make this summer better than ever. Visit the Hyundai Memorial Day sales event today for incredible deals. By Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. By Land Rover, above and beyond. By Raymore and Flanagan Furniture, furnishing your style. By NYU Langone Medical Center, made for New York. And by ChevyOffers.com. Well, the pitchers are just about ready to go. It's almost time for baseball.
baseball on Pix 11. I'm Meredith Morakovitz. Carlos Beltran, who's been one of the Yankees' most consistent hitters in the month of May, is not in the lineup this afternoon. He exited last night's game after suffering some tightness just below his right scapula. Joe Girardi said he took him out for precautionary reasons. He did say he would check in with Beltran today, see exactly how he was feeling. Maybe he would be a player off the bench. But he also mentioned that Carlos Beltran wasn't going to play 6 straight days on turf. The Yankees are heading to Toronto after this. He was considering giving him today off anyway. He felt as though it worked out well, but in talking to Beltran in the clubhouse last night, he did not think that this would be a big issue or a lingering issue, so they're hoping to get him back in the lineup soon. Other lineup notes, Chase Headley had a great day offensively yesterday, 3 hits, but he is not in the lineup. Joe Girardi cited that same turf issue as for giving Headley a day off. Also, he has not had great numbers against Jake Odorizzi, just 2 for 16 in his career, so he is not in. Ronald Torreyes is in instead. Also, yesterday, a disastrous performance for Michael Pineda, lasted just 3 2/3. He now has the highest ERA in Major League Baseball among starting qualifying pitchers. And Joe Girardi was once again asked, is Michael Pineda's spot safe in the rotation? He answered about 3 hours ago, yes, it is safe right now. He is expected to start in Detroit. But guys, we know as of yesterday, he had a lot of trouble finding that glove side against right-handed hitters in the box. Detroit, where he'll start, has a lot of hitters that can do some damage from the right side. It'll be a huge test for Michael Pineda. They need to get him right.
Thank you very much, Meredith. As that's right about Michael Pineda, struggling once again yesterday, allowing 5 runs in the first 2 innings. Let's check out the Yankees starting lineup presented by Land Rover, above and beyond. Jacoby Ellsbury in center field will lead it off, followed by Brett Gardner at left. Starlin Castro moves up to the 3rd spot in the order. He'll be at second base. The cleanup hitter is Brian McCann, the catcher. Alex Rodriguez will be the DH, followed by Didi Gregorius. First time he's batted as high as 6th this year. Aaron Hicks will be in right. Dustin Ackley will be at first base. Ronald Torreyes will be at 3rd base.
That line up a day game after an afternoon start, and they're going to face Jake Odorizzi. We'll see his numbers on the year to be his 11th start. A 3.46 ERA. He's only given up 50 hits in 54 2/3 innings.
Well, this is his first start against the Yankees this year. 3 wins, 4 losses against the Yankees. And here is the first pitch of the game from Odorizzi, and it's poured in there for a strike.
Let's check out our pitcher scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. He had a memorable day. His last start on Tuesday, he got a win in that game and had a game-winning RBI. The split finger fastball will always be a big part of his performances. He throws it about 22% of the time. That's 3rd highest in the American League. You might want to change the game plan up against Brian McCann, hitting 600 with 3 home runs off.
Another pitch outside, and it's 2 balls and a strike on Ellsbury. Ellsbury's had a pretty good series, 4 for 9. And he takes that one for a strike. The count will level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Final game of the series. So far, the teams have split the first 2. And as Meredith mentioned, the Yankees will be flying to Toronto after this afternoon's game. This ball's hit in the air to center field. Matuk is there, and he puts it away, and Ellsbury is retired. 1 down. Let's take a look at the Rays defense, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. In the outfield, you saw Matuk in center. He is flanked by Geyer in left and Souza in right. You have Longoria, Miller, Pierce, and Morrison in the infield. Casale back in the starting lineup today. He's doing the catching. Here's Brett Gardner. 0 for his last 9, but I was watching Brett in batting practice today, Flash. He hit everything on the nose. Maybe about ready to break out of that 0 for 9. First pitch is in there for a call strike. Home plate umpire is Hunter Wendelstadt. Gabe Morales is at first, Trip Gibson at second, and Jerry Lane, the crew chief, is around at 3rd. Gardner tries the bunt. He goes through it, and it's 0-2.
There's that split finger. He throws it over 22% of the time. Had good action down in the zone. Odorizzi doesn't overpower you. 91 with the fastball. He's won 2 games in a row. He's thrown 5 innings in each of those starts. He's incorporated a little slider lately, which is kind of a new pitch for him. We'll see how it plays out today.
He's ahead on the count here. And Gardner swings and misses strike 3. So Odorizzi picks up his first strikeout of the afternoon, and they're 2 down for the Yankees here in the top half of the first inning.
When you have that good split, you can get away with velocity at about 90-91. Brett Gardner may be sitting on an off-speed pitch. Tries to foul off that fastball, not able to do it.
Starlin Castro in the 3rd spot in the order. He's hit somewhat of a dry spell. That pitch is outside for a ball. 10 for his last 63. And his average is down to 251. This is the 4th time that Castro has batted 3rd this year. That pitch is in there for a strike, and the count levels at a ball and a strike. Odorizzi did not start in that series in New York earlier this year, but he made 4 starts against the Yankees last year, and he lost 3 of them. Castro fouls one back. He lost April 18th last year, April 28th last year. Once at Tampa Bay, once at Yankee Stadium. Lost to the Yankees September 4th at Yankee Stadium, and he finally beat the Yankees September 15th right here in Tampa Bay. Timeout is called. Hunter Wendelstedt, 2nd generation umpire. His father Harry, the late Harry Wendelstedt, was a tremendous umpire. 1-2 pitch is low and away, 2-2. You know, those inside protectors that the umpires wear. As we look at Castro, his numbers lately have not been good. Hunter's dad, Harry, used to have a regal bearing about him. He looked like a major league umpire. 2-2 pitch, and that's off the corner. The count has gone full at 3-2. And I think not only the players, but a lot of managers have respected him. Yeah. Full count on Castro. 2 outs, nobody on for the Yankees here in the first. A 3-2 pitch, and we'll do it all over again. He fouls it off.
Kenny, we looked at those numbers for Castro, and he's been struggling a little bit lately, but you feel like he's swinging the bat all right, hitting some balls hard.
Yeah, in this series he has, but he's yet to come up with a hit. The Rays defense has gotten in the way on it. Once again, the 3-2 pitch, and it swung on and missed. Strike 3. Looked like a splitter. And the Yankees go quietly here in the top half of the first inning with no score. We'll be right back. They're getting ready to face Nathan Eovaldi, and this is their starting lineup, which is brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. Brandon Geyer will lead it off. He's a 300 hitter. Brad Miller has had a good series. He's batting 2nd. Evan Longoria will bat 3rd. The cleanup hitters is 2nd baseman Steve Pearce. Logan Morrison will be at first base. Steven Souza Jr. is out and right. Corey Dickerson, the designated hitter for the 2nd consecutive game. Mikey Montook is in center field, and Kurt Casale is doing the catching and batting 9th.
Nathan Eovaldi in the middle of his warm-up tosses. We'll look at the numbers on the year for him. That ERA now under 4 at 3.95 and the 5-2 record. Look at our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. He's on a roll lately, 5-0 with a 2.92 over his last 6 starts. And he's 0 for 2 against the Rays in his career with an ERA just under 5, looking to change that this afternoon. And bringing the heat, fastball is never a problem for Eovaldi. Averages 96.8 miles an hour, which is second highest in the big leagues.
Well, if he can pick up 8 strikeouts in this game today for Nathan Eovaldi, he will come away with 500 for his career. Let's check out the Yankees on defense. Brought to you by M&T Bank. Understanding what's important. Gardner in left, Ellsbury in center, Hicks in right. Torreyes at third today, Gregorius at short, Castro, Ackley round out the infield, Brian McCann doing the catching for Nathan Eovaldi. Here is Brandon Guyer. He will lead it off. The Yankees have kind of held him down. 1 for 7 in this series. As Eovaldi deals in, the first pitch is poured in there for a strike. One thing Eovaldi has done also, as we look at the numbers on Guyer, 54% of the pitches put in play are on the ground. So that gives his infielders a chance to help him out. This pitch is fouled back, and it's 0-2. Yeah, he and Tanaka are up there among the top pitchers in the league with ground ball rates.
We've been talking this whole series about how aggressive the Rays are offensively. They're ready to swing the bat right when they leave the on-deck circle. Eovaldi getting ahead with 2 fastballs, but Kenny, you would think at some point the breaking ball, that get me over strike, might be a big pitch for him as we move on.
The 0-2 pitch is on the way, and there's a slider that just misses the corner. 1-2. Guyer wouldn't bite. Guyer's reached safely in 19 of his last 20 games. Doing a good job out of the leadoff spot. Pitch is fouled back.
We talked about Eovaldi and his split and the open to the show, but really it's been all 4 pitches that he has had during this nice run over his last 6 starts, getting that ERA under 4. Able to drop the curveball in for a strike. A couple of good sliders here to Guyer. Fastball, we talked about the velocity, and the split has been excellent.
A little bit low, and it's 2-2. Yeah, Eovaldi's fastball, I think he's averages the 2nd highest speed in the major leagues after Noah Syndergaard. Syndergaard, of course, a hard throwing right-hander for the Mets. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He got him.
Well, we're going to check out our Hyundai keys to the game for the New York Yankees and keep the Eovaldi Express moving. I mentioned his last start, 6 starts have been quality. And the cleanup hitter for the Yankees, Brian McCann, we already talked about the numbers against or Dizzy. And the big 3, you want to get those guys in the game. You want Miller, Betances, and Chapman in this game. Try to get the series and move on to Toronto.
Shortstop Brad Miller's next. Working on a 2-for-9 series, and the first pitch he fouls it in and out of the glove of McCann for strike 1. Miller yesterday had a double and a triple and scored twice. After a very slow start, he is really coming on. He's originally a 2nd-round pick of the Mariners out of Clemson University. And at Clemson, he was a first-team All-American. Big-time college career. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Look out, backs him up a bit, and it's 1-1. Chopper foul, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. And this is what Flash is talking about. Eovaldi has various weapons, and all of them lately have seemed to be working. Good splitter, good slider, fastball, a power fastball at that. Hitters always have to respect it. Hit on the ground and through the hole in the left field for a base hit. Miller has hit the ball well to the opposite field in this series. He got something out over the plate, took it the other way once again.
We remember Miller from Seattle, and he's had some issues in the field throwing that they're trying to tighten up here in Tampa. But you're right, Kenny, swinging the bat well, driving it the other way, has a little pop.
So that's the first hit of the ball game, and bring up Evan Longoria, who had a big day yesterday, drove in 4 runs. The Rays all-time leader in home runs. He's got 9 this year. He hit his 9th yesterday. 214 in his Rays career. Infield at double play depth. Toss over the first, and Miller is back. That's another weapon that Eovaldi has. Very good pickoff move for a right-handed pitcher. Quick feet. Of course, he gets the ball over there quickly. Hackley's going to have to be on his toes. There's a pitch in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Longoria 2 for 7 in the first 2 games. As I said, drove in 4 runs yesterday, including a long 2-run homer. Well, for Michael Pineda. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And I got a question for you, Flash. And Meredith was talking about it just before we started the ball game in her open, about Michael Pineda and struggling, particularly with the slider. He throws his slider at a higher rate than any other pitcher in the league. Why don't you just throw fewer of them and rely on your fastball a little bit more?
Well, I think he knows, and Brian McCann and Larry Rothschild, is such a big pitch for him that when he executes, it's quality.
I mean, I understand what you mean, but there's so many of them that haven't worked. I mean, he just hung them. So in other words, drop it down a bit. Rely on your fastball, a pitch you can control a little bit more.
Yeah, and I would also throw out there, maybe throw your changeup a little more. You know, throw your changeup to some righties.
Pitch to Longoria, and he hits on the ground. This could be 2. Gregorius to Castro, on to Ackley, and it's not in time. Longoria just beats the relay to first base, and the inning will continue. Eovaldi was walking off the field. He's going to have to come back. Ball not hit quite hard enough to shortstop.
Yeah, but there have been some plays in this series that you expect the New York Yankees to turn a double play. We'll check out the throw from Gregorius over to Castro. Everything looks good, and Longoria just beats it down the line.
It was close, but he's called safe by Gabe Morales, the first base umpire. So the inning will continue with Longoria at first and Steve Pearce at the plate. Pearce has had himself a good series, 4 for 9. And he'll take a pitch from Eovaldi for a called strike. Pearce has kind of taken over the cleanup spot in this lineup for the Rays. Eight home runs on the year, 20 runs batted in. He had a home run for the only Rays run in the Friday game. That's a little high. Ball and a strike. Yankees trying to get out of Tampa Bay with a 2 out of 3 series. Losing yesterday dropped them 2 games under 500, 23 wins, 25 losses. Just ahead of the Rays, who are 22 and 25. Next pitch. There's a call strike, and it's 1-2. 97 miles an hour.
You always pay attention early on to your starting pitcher and what type of stuff he has, and it looks like Eovaldi again has it all. Good slider, good fastball, good split.
Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, says Gabe Morales, and that'll do it. That was a blazer. 2 strikeouts for Eovaldi here in the first. No score at the end of 1. #1 live streaming sports service delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD and over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. On to the second inning. Brian McCann's going to lead it off against Jake Odorizzi. We showed you in an open that he has done very well against this pitcher, and the first pitch is low for a ball 1. And Odorizzi might be just what the doctor ordered. McCann is 0 for his last 15. Swing and a miss, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. McCann with 6 home runs and 19 runs batted in. A little bit low, 2-1. 2-1 pitch hit on the ground to the right side, and it's going to be Pierce who will throw out McCann for out number 1. So 1 down. Steve Pierce playing second base. You've also seen him at first. He can play third. You can see him in the outfield, and you've also seen him at DH. He moves around the field. By the noise level, you can tell that Alex Rodriguez is stepping in. A-Rod 1 for 9 in the series. The one was a big one, a long 2-run homer, his 6th of the year. He's also had 5 strikeouts in those 9 at-bats in this series. Let's see how Odorizzi wants to go about facing Alex Rodriguez here.
Yesterday, not a good day for Alex. 0 for 5, 3 strikeouts.
First pitch in there for a strike. Alex 2 for 9 in his career against Odorizzi, but both hits are home runs.
I was just thinking that Alex shouldn't really have to worry about the velocity, about 91.
0-2.
You don't have to worry about a hard thrower. You can kind of sit back and recognize a little bit, look off speed, and still be able to take care of the fastball.
And it seems in this series, the Rays have been coming at him with the fastball. Just here it is. See if you can hit it. Odorizzi in the driver's seat. 0-2 pitch, and the splitters downstairs. 1-2.
The splitter is an interesting pitch. Everybody around the Rays is talking about how good it was last year and doesn't quite have that same bite this year.
Swing and a miss. A-Rod chases a pitch out of the zone, and Odorizzi picks up his 3rd strikeout.
And we saw a lot of that yesterday from Alex Rodriguez as well, and Odorizzi goes right to it the first at bat when he gets 2 strikes. A little elevated, looks good, but enough velocity to get it by Alex Rodriguez.
Here's Didi Gregorius. We mentioned this is the first time Didi's batted as high as 6th in the order. And he takes a swing at the first pitch and fouls it straight back. Didi has reached safely in 14 consecutive games. And he's a tough hitter to strike out. Only twice in his last 59 at-bats. He's been a strikeout victim. He's in the hole here, though. 0-2. And I think that comes Flash, but he's cut down his swing somewhat. Fouls this one back. Count remains, no balls and 2 strikes on the Yankee shortstop. If he keeps the inning going, Aaron Hicks is on deck. Ball is hit high in the air and hit fairly deep to right, but Souza Jr. near the warning track makes the catch for the 3rd out here in the top of the 2nd inning. Yankees go in order. The end of 1.5, no score. to you by the Blue Cash Everyday Card from American Express. There's still some people making their way into Tropicana Field. When they finally get to their seats, they'll find it's the bottom of the second inning. No score. Logan Morrison, Steven Souza Jr., and Corey Dickerson will face Nathan Eovaldi. Eovaldi gave up a hit in the first inning, but also had a couple of strikeouts. Waiting on one of the umpires who had to go out to deep right field, right center field. Maybe there was something on the field. They had to return to a fan. That is Trip Gibson, the second base umpire. It looks like we're just about ready to go now. Morrison 2 for 8 in the first 2 games. That drops in there for a strike. Curveball. Morrison has raised his average from well, he was below the interstates. He was 0-something. That pitch is high. Now he's hitting 228 as it steps in. He's hitting 6 of his last 7. When we saw him in New York, I mean, he was just scrambling. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Kenny, when we watch Eovaldi working now, it's like every pitch has a purpose. There's such a focus to him. He's been on this good run his last 6 starts. Curveball, elevated fastball, followed by a slider.
Foul tipped into the glove of McCann, and that'll do it. 3 strikeouts now for Nathan Eovaldi.
Well, you're looking for the split with 2 strikes, and you don't get it. You get a little backdoor cutter slider, perfectly located. Eovaldi has all of his weapons today.
So 1 out, nobody on. Steven Souza Jr. will come to the plate. 0 for 3 yesterday, 1 for his last 15. And that is low for a ball. Eovaldi, if you're thinking Eovaldi, you can think strikeouts, also ground balls. That is in there for a strike, and Steven Souza Jr. The high-speed pitch brought to you from Montefiore, doing more in the state-of-the-art healthcare, and that one was 98 miles an hour. A little slider outside for a ball. Steven Souza Jr., we've talked about it. Flash and I talked about it yesterday. He has some tools, but the problem for him has been the strikeouts. About 1 out of every 3 at-bats for him results in a strikeout. 2-2 pitch, foul back to the screen.
Well, you can look at the ground ball percentage that has gotten better year by year for Eovaldi, now up to 54.8%. Obviously, keeping the ball on the ground, out of the air, you're going to be more successful.
Full count as he misses inside.
Kenny, you talk about Souza Jr. as Dickerson's on deck. He's more of a go up there and just take big swings. You know, you wonder when the game is going to slow down, maybe tighten up the strike zone a little bit.
And misses. Ball 4. First walk handed out by Eovaldi. So 1 on, 1 out. Corey Dickerson, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. Dickerson had a couple of hits yesterday. Went 2 for 4, drove in a run. 3 for 7 in the series against the Yankees. Averaged just over 200. Yesterday he had a base hit in the first inning off Michael Pineda on a changeup. Broke his back, got a single. That was a tough luck hit for Pineda. Swing and a miss, strike 1. I wonder, McCann with Dickerson at the plate in the games in New York. I think Dickerson hit McCann with the backswing at least 3 times. And the first time was the toughest. That was the hardest one. For a moment there, I thought McCann would have to come out of the game. And he has a follow through on the backswing like a helicopter type swing. Toss over the first, and Steven Souza Jr., who can run, is back safely.
Yeah, word will get around the league, obviously, about that finish with the swing you're talking about from Dickerson, but even guys like Ellsbury with catcher's interference, you're amazed that it happens as much as it does, because you figure the word would get around.
Well, what can you do as a catcher? I mean, you got to catch the ball, right?
Well, you can sit back just a little bit, and I think maybe, you know, not move forward as much when the pitch is coming in.
Pitch is fouled back.
But you can see the swing and the big finish back in April. It's a good piece of Brian McCann a few times. It's obviously just Dickerson's swing, and you got to make a little bit of an adjustment if you're the catcher.
See, but my point is, if you get back too far, some of those low pitches will be called balls by the umpire. Yeah,
I understand that, but you got to. You're either going to get hit in the head with the bat, or you're not going to get that low strike.
Okay, I see what you mean, Flash. Of all the tosses over the first again, this time a closer play on Souza Jr. He's a football player in high school, played defensive back, so you know he can run a little bit. The 0-2 pitch, and it's swung on and missed. Strike 3. Evaldi picks up strikeout number 4.
Ball jumping out of his hand, perfectly located right underneath the hands, a little bit above the belt. There aren't too many hitters who can handle that.
Well, the Yankee pitching staff is second in the league in striking batters out. With 4 today, it's now 422. Only the Red Sox have more. They started today with 439. And you couple that with the fact that the Yankees pitchers have allowed the fewest walks in the league. That's some pretty good pitching. Here's Mikey Montouk, and he'll take a pitch high for a ball. Montouk back from the minor leagues. Kevin Kiermaier on the disabled list with a fractured hand. And Montouk, since being recalled, is 1 for 13. Another check on Souza Jr. over at first. And this might be a situation where he'll think about running. He's got a decent lead over there. Not going. The pitch is hit on the ground. A great stop by Torres. The long throw on one hop is in time, and that'll do it. Ronald Torres. Short. Second. He can also play third. Nice play right here to rob Montouk of a hit. And that'll do it for the Rays here in the second.
to you by Modell's, your fan gear headquarters. Yankees finish up here in Tampa. We'll head to Toronto, one game in Detroit, move on to Baltimore, and then come back home against the Angels and the Tigers. Long road trip, trying to take 2 out of 3 here in Tampa, move on to Toronto. Jake Odorizzi back to work here in the top of the 3rd. It'll be Aaron Hicks, Dustin Ackley, and Ronald Torreyes. Hicks first pitch swinging. Ground ball to Pierce. 1 pitch, 1 out. Odorizzi off to a good start, 7 in a row, has struck out 3. He's coming off of a win Tuesday at Miami. Became the 4th pitcher in Rays history with a game-winning RBI in that game and a win. Joined Nathan Carnes, Alex Cobb, and James Shield.
Might be in the wrong league.
Put himself out a little bit.
Yeah.
Chris Archer, the big name in this rotation. Matt Moore had a quality start yesterday. But Odorizzi having a solid year, ERA in the mid-3s. And off to a good start here.
And you mentioned Matt Moore, and he'd been struggling up until yesterday when his curveball really helped him out.
Ackley line drive, Morrison makes the play. Sounded like a broken bat. Yeah, Kenny, that was the word after the game, the improved curveball for Matt Moore, a big difference for him. 2 quick outs. It'll be Ronald Torreyes who made a nice play to end the 2nd inning. Every time you see him play in a game, whether it's like you said, 3rd, short, 2nd, a little bit of the outfield seems to impress you.
And we saw him in the outfield yesterday, and we mentioned the fact that the glove, it was definitely the outfielder's glove. It's not the one he's using today at 3rd.
He came into that game yesterday for Carlos Beltran, who has some tightness around his scapula, gets the afternoon off.
Here's the play that Flash is talking about. Ended the last inning. Mikey Matuk maybe thought he had an extra base hit, but Torreyes had other thoughts. But on this turf, you can throw it over there on 1 bounce. Get a nice hop for the first baseman.
Odorizzi ahead in the count, 0-2, elevates the fastball. Kenny, you can say that Torreyes is your perfect utility guy on a team, right? Play infield positions, a little outfield. Seems to give you a quality at bat every time he's up there.
You can pinch run him if you want to. I think the Yankees liked the fact that he was very versatile in spring training. You know, during the course of spring training, you didn't hear much about him making the club. There's Carlos Beltran, along with Alex Rodriguez. 2 veterans talking it over. Didn't hear much about Torreyes until the end when you realize he played pretty well in spring training. And of course his versatility. Every team needs a player that you can plug in just about anywhere. It gives you a tough at bat.
Well, that's what I like. He goes up to the plate. He just doesn't give you an easy at bat. He's going to fight off pitches. Batting average just a little bit below 300. Not going to hit for the power. Kind of has a swing that plays when you don't play every day.
Although I think his first 2 hits this year were triples.
Key to being a good bench guy offensively is to have just a simple swing where there's not a whole lot of moving parts. Torreyes definitely seems to have that.
And it's because you don't get to play all that often, and you can't go up there with a complex long swing. It's just not going to work. It's hard to get the timing.
Having a good at bat here. Was behind in the count 0-2. Has fought back to a full count. Let's see what Odorizzi's thinking here in a 3-2 pitch. Goes with the fastball right down the middle and blows it right by Ronald Torreyes. So Jake Odorizzi off to a good start. 4 strikeouts already. Baseball is brought to you by the Toyota Time Sales Event. Ends May 31st. Hurry in today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. And by the Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Go beyond utility. A beautiful day here in the Tampa-St. Pete area. Nathan Eovaldi back out for the bottom of the third to be a number 9 hitter, Curt Casali. Get his first at-bat in this series. Hank Conger caught yesterday, had 3 hits, first extra base hits of the year, and he gets rewarded with a spot on the bench today. Doesn't get a start. Sally takes over, and he's been struggling a little bit lately. 1 for his last 24.
Yeah, there's Conger, only the second Rays catcher in their history, and this kind of surprised me, to have 3 extra base hits in 1 game. Gianna Navarro did it back in 2008. But Conger with 2 doubles and his first 2 doubles of the year and his first home run of the year. His first 3 extra base hits of the year all came in 1 game.
Sally gets under this one, pops it up. Castro calling for it.
1 for 25.
That's the bad news, 1 for 25, because Sally does have some pop, 4 home runs since the beginning of May. And he is a better defensive catcher than Conger.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're trying to get back on track today. Back to the top of the order. Second look at Eovaldi for Brandon Guyer, who struck out in the first inning. I was thinking, if you're Eovaldi and you're looking over at the pitcher, your opposing pitcher, Jake Odorizzi, off to a good start, you know he's on top of his game. You're going to have to match him.
You know, I always felt that when you're a starting pitcher, you go into a game, you got to make sure your team scores first. That's the whole deal. Keep them off the board as long as you have to.
Right back up the middle. Castro knocks it down. Can't come up with a handle. A good play by Castro trying to get there. It looks like he's in a little bit of pain.
And he's going to have to take a couple of deep breaths. Diving on the turf. Hot smash just eluded Eovaldi. There's the dive, and then he can't come up with it. Couldn't come up with it cleanly with the glove, and you can see him diving headlong. And he seems to be okay now. One more look at it. Ball off the heel. If he gets it cleanly, he might have had a shot. The guy runs pretty well. Would have been a close play at first base.
An infield hit for Guyer as he takes his lead. Runs pretty well. Only has 1 stolen base. Has been thrown out 1 time. And he is running here. Miller, the hit and run is on. Ground ball to Ackley. He'll take the out at first. Well, Edwin Longoria coming up to the plate, and it's time to look at today's Power Report, which is furnished by Bob's. Everything's better with a Bob-O-Pedic. Find out why at mybobs.com. Since 2008, most home runs against the New York Yankees. Jose Bautista at the top of that list, and Longoria right behind him with 30.
The Yankees will see Bautista tomorrow in Toronto. Ivan Nova gets the start for the Yankees tomorrow.
Think back to yesterday's game. Pineda had outstanding numbers against Longoria in his career, but it tells you how off he was. Longoria beat him up with that long home run. There's a split in the dirt, gets away from McCann. He can't find it. Eovaldi comes to cover home, and Guyer takes his lead around third and will retreat. We've seen this quite a bit in this series from Brian McCann, kind of caught in between whether to block the baseball or pick it backhand.
I think the Yankees want to know if this is going to be a strike. Let's see if Longoria actually goes for it. See the ball off the heel of the glove. He's looking for it. It's going to roll back to the screen. Guyer thinking about home. Yeah, he swung at that. That's a strike. We have 1-0. The scoreboard has 0-1. I got to believe that was strike 1. There we go. Just a little flick of the switch.
Longoria hit a ground ball to short. His first at bat. The Yankees weren't able to turn the double play. Fastball at 98 just misses.
Well, when it hits McCann's glove, it kind of echoes throughout Tropicana Field here.
Kenny, I was mentioning McCann, though, kind of caught in between backhanding, blocking. You got to make up your mind here. Runner at third. Longoria just blocks one off the other way. Be a 2-out hit, a 2-out RBI, and the Rays take the lead.
Well, that's been an issue all season long for the Yankees. 2-out runs batted in by the opposition. And it wasn't well hit. It was well placed by Longoria, but now he picks up his 5th run batted in 2 games. That one off the hands. He fights it off over Ackley and into right field for a base hit, a run-scoring single.
2 down will be Steve Pearce, who struck out his first at bat. Swing and a miss. Pearce, one of the hottest hitters in the Rays lineup lately. There's 8 home runs, 20 RBIs. Kenny, you look at Longoria and his 9 home runs now, 25 RBIs now with that RBI. Kind of got off to a slow start, driving in some runs.
Now he's starting to
pick it up.
Yep. Sometimes it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And there are years where you're consistent. Each month you do about the same thing. I thought each month you're trying to drive in as close to 20 runs as possible. You got 6 months, and you should end up with somewhere around 100 or just over. Now, if you might have 1 month where you drive in 12, you might have 1 month where you drive in 22 runs. So that's.
Eovaldi heading to count 1-2 on Pearce. Longoria taking his lead. Goes slider, fly ball to right field. Hicks will settle underneath it for the 3rd out, but the Rays break through on an Evan Longoria 2-out base hit the other way, and they take the lead 1-0. Visit your local Infiniti retailer for a test drive today. Some of the news and notes: Salvador Perez out 7 to 10 days with an injured quad, such a durable catcher for the Kansas City Royals. And Tim Lincecum expected to make his season debut June 12th. And Brian Braun out for the 3rd straight game with some neck stiffness.
Speaking of the Kansas City Royals, did you notice who took over the lead in the Central Division? The Cleveland Indians.
Did they?
Yeah, half a game ahead of Kansas City and Chicago.
Top of the fourth, Cosby. Ellsbury turns to bunt and takes a curveball for strike one.
The Chicago White Sox have lost 5 straight. Dropped out of first place.
Second look at Jake Odorizzi for the Yankees. Ellsbury swinging a hot bat lately, 15 for his last 40, but behind in the count here, 0-2.
I always like when Ellsbury hits one in the gap. Right away you start thinking about triple instead of double. Most guys doubles, him triple. He is tied for the league leading triples. But Adam Eaton of the White Sox and Jackie Bradley Jr. of the Red Sox. So they have 4.
Rays lead 1-0. Yankees looking for their first base runner of the afternoon. They're not going to get it right here. Another strikeout. And a good split from Odorizzi.
Ten in a row retired, and there it is. There's a split finger. 5 strikeouts now, all of them swinging.
The splitter usage rate. Eovaldi and Odorizzi in the middle of that pack. You look at the grip, and there's the action down and away. And I asked around today about that pitch, Kenny, and everybody was saying it's not the same as it was last year. It looks pretty good to me this afternoon. As Gardner slaps one the other way, Brandon Guyer underneath it. And 2 quick outs here in the 4th inning.
You mentioned Tanaka's, and Tanaka's, to me, his splitter's still pretty good, but it's not what it was when he first came over. I mean, it just looked completely unhittable when he first arrived from Japan. And now it's still a pretty good one, but it's not quite as sharp.
You know what I think has gotten better? His slider has gotten better. And it's taken a little heat off of that split finger where it doesn't have to be overpowering every start.
It appears to me today with Odorizzi, he gets ahead with his fastball and maybe his breaking ball, and then he puts you away with his splitter. So the key to getting to him today might be hitting that first fastball that you see as hard as you can.
Struck out 5 already. Starlin Castro on that list. There's that fastball. A little more hop on it. A 93 up in the zone. Rays fans getting excited for strikeout number 6.
I think that fastball, this last pitch we just saw for ball 1, was just for show. He put it up there and trying to change levels now and probably go back downstairs.
Looks like it's going to be a fastball away. Castro spoils it. Here comes that split. Line drive right back up the middle, but the Rays had him played perfectly. Pierce with the easy play. We're going to come back. Bottom of the 4th inning. Meredith Marakovitz and her notebook will join us. Come right back. Fourth inning, John Flaherty with Kenny Singleton and Meredith Marakovitz joining us here in the booth at Tropicana Field for the bottom of the fourth inning. Good to see you again, Meredith. And yesterday, Michael Pineda dominated the conversation with a not a good outing. And anytime they're talking about your spot in the rotation coming up, that's not good news.
It's not exactly what you want. And Joe Girardi was asked a lot of questions about Pineda yet again today. And he said his spot is safe in the rotation. There haven't been any conference calls or any discussion with Brian Cashman yet as far as removing Michael Pineda from the rotation. But guys, the reality of the situation is the Yankees don't have a tremendous amount of options as far as guys that they could bring up. And Joe Girardi admitted if there were somebody down there that had been throwing the ball extremely well, a big prospect or someone in that regard that they can slide into that role, maybe they'd have to think about it a little bit more. But best case for the Yankees right now is for Pineda to turn it around somehow. But you see Larry Rothschild right there talking to Joe Girardi. I'm sure they did a lot of that after the game yesterday. And I spoke with Larry Rothschild, and he seemed to be perplexed because he's worked a lot with Pineda in between starts, and he says everything looks good. The slider is sharp. His fastball is on point. He's able to throw the changeup too. But when he gets in the game and he starts getting into trouble, he feels as though the game is speeding up on him a little bit. And Pineda just hasn't found a way to take a deep breath and slow it back down. And that's really when he's getting into trouble, when he's working too fast on the mound, not taking that deep breath, not slowing things down.
Well, you mentioned possibilities to replace him. Luis Severino on his way back, right?
Yes, he's going to throw for the Tampa Yankees today. They are on the east coast of Florida playing. It'll be his first rehab start. Joe Girardi saying he'll throw about 55 to 60 pitches. So logically, you would think he'd probably get another rehab start, although the Yankees have not yet said that. Joe Girardi simply saying that he's just going to wait and see how this one goes. Several people asked Joe Girardi what he needs to see from Severino to bring him back up here and feel like he's ready. And first and foremost, he needs to be healthy. But I asked him whether or not this is results driven as well. And he said, well, you want to make sure he's throwing the ball well and he feels good on the mound. And remember, Severino struggled a lot prior to going on the DL. So the thought is Severino comes in and bumps Pineda out. Well, Severino isn't given that he's going to come up here and have a ton of success either. They expect him long-term to have success, but he had a few kinks he had to work out as well.
We saw a young pitcher yesterday, though, Luis Sessa, who looked pretty strong out of the bullpen.
And Kenny, you never know. That could be an option. He's still stretched out from being down in AAA, but I think they believe that Pineda will get to the other side on this. Exactly how long that'll take, they're hoping it's sooner rather than later. But I think you look at it and you see how good he could be. You see glimpses of it throughout the course of a game, the strikeout potential. It is all there. He just needs to find a way to get over that hump. And Carlos Beltran said something interesting in the clubhouse last night in that he thinks Michael Pineda is almost trying too hard right now. He's maybe getting in his own way a little bit, trying to do too much, knowing that he's letting the team down. And Pineda sat at his locker in the clubhouse yesterday and answered every single question until reporters were done as to why he's been having these struggles this season, and acknowledged the fact that he has put the team in a hole and it's been tough on him and the team.
Yeah, you hate to see the momentum that's built up with the other starters. Remember, the Yankees won game one of this series, and all of a sudden they're even and fighting to take 2 out of 3. You'd like to see that momentum continue.
And you look at the starts with Pineda and you look at the starts with Severino, a lot of those games the Yankees were out of it before it even began, and that's when it becomes tough. You look at the offense then starts pressing a little bit, trying to maybe do too much at the plate, and there's really a trickle-down effect in that. But prior to that, you looked at the last start with Pineda and you really thought that he had turned a corner. His slider looked much better, he was sharper on the mound, but that just was not the case.
Well, you got to believe confidence is part of the problem. But, you know, the Yankees maybe got some good news today. Mark Teixeira took some BP on the field.
Definitely he's taking a step in the right direction. He hit from both the left side and the right side of the plate, in addition to taking some grounders at first base. He also ran in the outfield, and he said it is night and day from prior to having the cortisone shot and getting the cortisone shot. It's finally kicked in. He's feeling better. Still a little bit of soreness there, but he feels as though he may be able to go tomorrow in Toronto.
And I know it's batting practice, but he hit a few balls in the seats. I was sitting there watching him, and from both sides of the plate and also fielding. The fielding is not the issue with him. He's one of the best in the game. But here we go. That's a solidly struck ball. And he hit a few in the seats left-handed. And I thought maybe that's the side he really has to get going.
There's no question he squared some balls up, and he came off the field, and everybody said, how you doing, how you doing? He said, I'm good, with a big smile on his face. So you think he's probably feeling pretty good right now. And Dustin Ackley has done a nice job filling in for him, but he will probably even admit he is not a Gold Glove first baseman. The Yankees want him back, not only for the offensive production, even though he had been struggling prior to this neck issue, but also defensively. He saved so many balls there at first base.
When you think back to yesterday's game and Carlos Beltran came out of the game, we thought it was because of a big lead, but then we got some word that maybe there's a little injury there.
Yes, we learned, Joe Girardi said after the game, that he was having some issues right below his scapula on the right side. It kind of tightened up. And guys, the funny thing about it is that it actually tightened up right before the home run swing. So it didn't seem to affect him in that at-bat. But look, he's been one of the most consistent hitters for the Yankees in this month, and they want to make sure he remains healthy. Joe Girardi not taking any chances. And he said Carlos probably could have played and wanted to play today, but he knew he wasn't going to play him. And here's the swing right here before the home run with Carlos Beltran. See him kind of pull up a little bit. And Joe Girardi noticed something was wrong, and Carlos told me last night that he could have stayed in that game and continued playing. But like I said, Joe Girardi not wanting to take any chances, and he had planned to give Beltran a day off or a DH day either today or at some point in time in Toronto, because they're playing 6 straight on turf. He figured with that little issue last night, why not give him today off?
Well, thank you very much, Meredith, for all of the updates. And you can catch Meredith on the Yes postgame show with Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry. Nathan Eovaldi, a smooth 4th inning. The Yankees trail 1-0.
Fifth inning flash, going to take a look at what Jake Odorizzi has done this afternoon.
Well, he's been perfect through 4 innings, and he's picked up 5 strikeouts, able to get the fastball by Gardner. Castro reaching, fastball to Alex Rodriguez. Torreyes, another fastball right down Broadway, and then the split to Jacoby Ellsbury. Jake Odorizzi on top of his game.
And he's retired 12 in a row. We go to the 5th inning. Brian McCann's going to lead it off for the New York Yankees. As both starting pitchers have done a pretty good job in today's game. First pitch to McCann is high for ball 1. McCann grounded out to short right field. Second baseman Steve Pearce was out there. He's out there right now as the shift is on. That pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Well,
this guy would have been your pick to click with that 600 batting average coming in against Odorizzi.
Ball and 2 strikes as he fouls him back to the screen. 600, and you can tack on 3 home runs there too.
You think back, Kenny, when you had ownership of a pitcher and you're standing in the box looking out at him, you can almost figure out exactly what he's thinking and what he's going to throw.
2-2.
See if that trend continues today.
The Yankees are looking for their first base runner against Odorizzi. He's had at least 1 strikeout in every inning. And a little late.
souvenir for fans in the second deck there.
It's been something that surprised me from Odorizzi today, and you mentioned McCann a little late with the fastball. He's been able to get the fastball by some Yankee hitters. I don't remember him having that type of velocity. A little more hop today.
Ball was hit in the air to left field. Coming on quickly is Geyer. He's there and makes the catch for out number 1. So that is just the second. He'll make that the third. Well, let me count up again. 1, 2, 3, 4 fly ball outs. Ellsbury, Gregorius, Gardner, and McCann have all flied out. Here's Alex Rodriguez, who was a strikeout victim in the second inning. Now 1 for 10 in the series. Ball is pulled foul on the ground. Strike 1. Outfield is deep, just about straight away for A-Rod. The infielder pulled around to the left on the shift. Little chopper right back to the mound. Odorizzi should be. Look at this flip to first base. A finger roll to first base. I don't think I've ever seen that.
You know what, there's been a lot of discussion going on. Should you eliminate the intentional walk where you have to throw 4 pitches? This will tell you that pitchers are not comfortable doing things when they're not in their windup. The underhand flip. Odorizzi. Wow.
Sometimes you see pitchers run halfway to first base and then flip it, you know, try and shorten the distance of the flip, but not this time. About 1 step and that's different. Here's Gregorius, and Didi will take a pitch low from ball 1. You think that was a challenge to Alex Rodriguez?
I think that there are some demons in Odorizzi's head right there on throwing the ball around.
All right. The 1-0 pitch is outside ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Gregorius flied out to the warning track in right field to Souza Jr. to end the second inning. He's up here in the 5th with 2 outs and nobody on. Good swing, fouled straight back 2-1. Wow. Still thinking about that. Thinking like it came down with a parachute attached to it. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch, and it's 2-2. Jake Odorizzi so far has been in control, and he's had to be. He's protecting a 1-0 lead.
He's elevated that fastball with 2 strikes. He's thrown the split with 2 strikes. No split right there.
Fouled off by Didi. Fouled it off his looked like his shin. Still 2-2. Maybe right on the foot. Either way, I'm sure it didn't feel good. This ball is fouled off to the left beyond the Yankee bullpen. Nice catch by a fan.
Chipper Jones fan.
He's a heck of a ball player, headed to the Hall of Fame. Just got a piece of that one. Spoiled it. I told you that Didi's been one of the tougher batters in the league to strike out. Only twice in his last 60 at-bats. He's got a challenge here because Odorizzi has a good splitter. Check swing. Count has gone full at 3-2. Aaron Hicks looking for a chance to hit here in the 5th inning. The payoff pitch, and it's popped up into short left field. Coming on is Geyer. The left fielder has it, And the Yankees go once again. 1, 2, 3. 15 in a row set down by Odorizzi. To see the New York Yankees in action on Saturday, June 25th. The Yankees take on the Twins, and all guests in attendance will receive a commemorative Masahiro Tanaka baseball card, courtesy of Topps. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit Yankee Stadium ticket windows, Yankee Clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. The 2016 New York Yankees, more than a game. Mikey Matuk, the center fielder, will lead it off. He was robbed of a hit by Torres his first time up, and Matuk swings at the first pitch, fouls it straight back. 1-0 Rays. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Rays picked up their run in the 3rd. A 2-out single by Evan Longoria scored Brandon Guyer. Evaldi is set and deals, and that is a strike. And he jumps ahead. No balls and 2 strikes on Matuk, who will be followed by Casale and Guyer. One and 2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Let's take a look at Evaldi today, Flash.
Well, he's been hot his last 6 starts, and he's got everything going this afternoon. 6 strikeouts already in this ball game. Fastball early on, explosive. Another fastball perfectly located on the inner half. And he goes with a little backdoor slider just to let you know he has it. Fastball up and in. Slinging a fastball for another strikeout. And then finally a slider. Talk so much about the split finger, and you're seeing the other pitches being able to pick up the strikeouts.
Kurt Casale hits a ground ball, a couple of hops, bobbled by Castro. The throw to first is in time for the out. I wonder if the Rays are going to challenge this one. They're thinking about it. There's Kevin Cash, and he says, yep, we're going to look at this one.
Eats up Castro a little bit and then tries to come up with it. Casale, a catcher, doesn't run great. He's been struggling a little bit lately. He needs this infielder. It'll be an error, but looking to get on base.
That's the first time I've ever heard you utter those words. Got a catcher not running well.
Yeah, it looks like he made it.
And the fans here are looking at the replay. And we look at it again ourselves, and it looks like he beat it. This play under review is brought to you by Mazda. Driving matters. I have a feeling Casale's going to be on first, and Castro will be charged with an error, which would be his 3rd error of the season. And that's the call. E4. So 1 out and 1 on for the Rays here in the 5th. And the lineup will turn over for Brandon Guyer, who has scored the only run in the game. He had a single in the 3rd and eventually moved over to 2nd on a ground ball, 3rd on a wild pitch, and scored on a base hit. A chopper foul over near the Yankee dugout. Strike 1. Baldy's done a pretty good job today getting ahead of the hitters. And it's, you know, it's common knowledge that if pitchers jumps ahead, the batting average against really goes down. You fall behind, hitters can be more aggressive, look for certain pitches in certain areas. Squares the bunt, and that misses. Speaking of first pitch strikes, 13 of the 19 batters he's faced have seen strike 1. Casale had one of the shortest leads I've ever seen over at first base.
You haven't seen me take a lead in a long time, Kenny.
This ball's hit well to left field. Gardner's going back. This is going to be over his head and up against the wall. Casale headed for 3rd, Guyer to 2nd, and it's 2nd and 3rd with 1 out for the Rays here in the 5th. Guyer with his 2nd hit of the afternoon.
Yeah, Guyer struck out his first at bat, but you're right, the last 2 at bats drilled one right back up the middle and probably got the worst pitch that Eovaldi has thrown today. Kind of just a rolling curveball. Guyer was ready for it, hammers it to left field.
Guyer's kind of you know, he started the season in a platoon situation, but now with injuries to the outfielders here, he's becoming more of an everyday player.
Yeah, you can see it just doesn't have that great bite to it. The curveball really in reality is a get me over pitch for Eovaldi. He threw it there in the middle of the count and got beat.
Let's see how the Yankees decide to play this one. They're going to be in on the corners and back in the middle of the infield. So ground ball to Ackley or Torres. They will try and hold Casale at 3rd base. Brad Miller has singled and grounded out in 2 trips. And the first pitch is inside, maybe a little low for ball 1. 98-mile-per-hour fastball. One thing that Eovaldi can do, he could sustain that speed of his fastball throughout a game. Throwing just as hard in the latter innings as he does in the early innings.
In the situation here, you want a pop-up or an easy ground ball. Do that by that fastball up and in, that split down and away combination.
Yeah, big spot in the game, because if he gets him out and the runners do not advance, he has a base open. Maybe with Longoria coming up next, you can actually put him on and face Steve Pearce, which is no bargain either, but at least you don't have to face Longoria.
It's a huge pitch in this ball game right here. 2-0, Miller in the driver's seat, Longoria waiting on deck.
Ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. There is Longoria on deck. Casale at 3rd, Guyer at 2nd. 1 out. Infield in at the corners. The 3-0 pitch is taken all the way, and it's in there for a call strike.
You know what, Kenny, before this series started, I might have said pitch around Miller right here. Don't give in to him. Bases loaded for Longoria because he wasn't swinging the bat well, but we'd already talked about it. We've seen him picking up the pace a little bit. Dangerous hitter on deck.
.3-1 pitch, and it's popped up. Let's see if it's playable. Long run for Gardner near the Yankee bullpen. Casale's tagging. He's not going anywhere. Gardner gets off a strong throw. And Eovaldi gets the desired effect. The runners do not advance. And here's Evan Longoria, and this is what he did yesterday.
Well, it's a huge pitch to get that pop-up because Longoria coming up to the plate did some damage yesterday. A fastball against Michael Pineda and hammers it a long way. If you're Eovaldi and McCann right here, obviously you can be aggressive early to Longoria. If you get ahead, to continue to be aggressive. If you fall behind, you have first base open, you can be a little careful.
So now there are 2 outs. Runners still remain at second and third. Longoria today has reached on a fielder's choice and had a run-scoring single. A jam shot. He was dropped it into right field for a hit. Up here now with runners at second and third. The Yankees are going after him. And there is a call, strike one. Buried the fastball at 99 in on his hands. Eovaldi wants the signs again. A long stare. Now he's ready. Ball is hit in the air to right field. Hit pretty well. Going back his hits. He's on the warning track at the wall, and he makes the catch. Longoria with a bid for a 3-run homer comes up just short. The game remains 1-0 Rays.
Bottom of the 5th inning, Nathan Eovaldi going right at Evan Longoria. Fastball out over the plate. Aaron Hicks going back. Be able to make the play right in front of the wall. Longoria thought it had a chance. Eovaldi gets out of a big spot.
So it's still 1-0 Rays on to the 6th inning, bottom third of the Yankee batting order. Hicks, Ackley, and Torres. The Yankees still looking for their first base runner against Jake Odorizzi. And that pitch misses inside for ball 1. Hicks has been up once, rounded to second base. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Odorizzi falls behind on the count. Odorizzi's been so strong, only 3 3-ball counts today. This ball is fouled off. He had one with Castro in the first inning, one to Torres in the third, and he also had one to Gregorius in the 5th.
Kenny, though, when he gets behind or he gets a 3-ball count like you're talking about, he's not messing around, coming right at the Yankees, challenging him with that fastball, and he's beating him with the fastball.
2-1 pitch, and that is strike 2. 2-2.
Just when you're late on the fastball, he drops that little split on you for a strike.
Orizzi has retired 15 in a row to start the ball game. Pitch is hit on the ground to second. Pierce throws on the first, and there's one out here in the 6th. Second time that Hicks is grounded out to Steve Pierce at second. So with one down, Dustin Ackley will come to the plate. I can imagine, as a pitcher has a game like this going, the fielders start to feel it a little bit too, right? They start to want to make all the, of course they want to make all the plays ordinarily, but especially one where the pitcher is coming out of the gates like Odorizzi has today.
As a catcher, you start thinking about every pitch that you put down, every signal.
And I've been fortunate enough to broadcast 2 perfect games, and in both games the last out was a fly ball, and that's just the way the fielders wanted it.
Oh yeah.
Paul O'Neill caught one for David Wells, and Marquise Grissom caught one for Dennis Martinez. That pitch is fouled into the glove of Casale, and it's a ball and 2 strikes on Ackley with a soft liner to the first baseman Morrison in the 3rd inning. Wouldn't chase. It's a ball and 2 strikes, or make it 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch to Ackley. Full count.
Kenny, this is what I was talking about. The 3-ball counts. He has come right at the Yankee hitters. Remember, Torreyes coming right at him. Fastball by him. Gregorius, an easy fly ball. See what he does here.
Fastball fouled back just below us. He pumped that one up to 93 miles an hour. Only his 4th 3-ball count of the game. Once again, the 3-2 pitch, and it's hit on the ground towards short. Miller has it, straightens up, throws a low throw, and not in time. Ackley beats it out, and that's going to be an infield single. Whoa. E6. How's there an error on that play?
He kind of double clutched a little bit when he went to his right. That's kind of just what you were talking about, Kenny. The infielders start thinking about it. Looked like he came up with it kind of clean, a little hesitation getting rid of it, and a low throw.
And they're going to look at this. I don't know. That might be reversed. We'll have to see. Morrison with the stretch. He comes up with it cleanly. Wow. What do you think?
Is there enough to overturn it? I think he might have. I think they might have got him.
And last angle looked like he was out.
Well, how about this time right here for Brad Miller? You're sitting there, your pitcher's got a perfect game, and this is either going to be an error and you could be the GOAT, or you get a replay, it gets overturned, and you move on.
Now, when you think about it, it could have been called a hit because Ackley hustled down the line, but they called it an error because he had double clutched.
Yep.
It still was a clean transfer. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, but the ball was kind of hit almost right at him.
All right.
It wasn't like he had to range a lot.
We're going to take a look at it again. Here's our best angle.
Wow.
Oh, wow. On that one, he looks like he's out. You know what? If it's called an error, at least and Ackley's called safe on the review, it's still a no-hitter going. And they're going to call him safe. So it's going to go as an E6. Well, maybe not enough to overturn the call.
Number 17, Ronald Torreyes.
So the no-hitter's intact. That's going to be an error on the shortstop, Brad Miller. And it'll bring up Torres. Torres struck out on a 3-2 pitch in the third inning. So the Yankees finally have a base runner. Can they move him around? Torres hits one in the air. This is beyond the Rays bullpen. Long run for Souza Jr. He's going to have to put on the brakes. That's out of play. So 1 out and 1 on. Torres playing third base today. Chase Headley gets a day off. That was high. And it's 1-1.
How about that, Kenny? Headley gets 3 hits yesterday. Walks. You get a day off. He doesn't have good numbers against Odorizzi.
That did it.
I don't know.
The throw to first, and Ackley just got back. You know what it is? Sometimes the numbers will get you in the lineup, and sometimes it'll get you out of the lineup.
Justin Ackley leaning a little bit here.
He just got back. Yeah, you're right. He was leaning. One pitch, and it's hit on the ground to second. Pierce to Miller to Morrison. That erases the error. Odorizzi has still faced a minimum over 6 innings. It's 1-0 Rays. Way to start your weekday. Join Suki, Scott, and the Pix 11 News team. Linda Church has the weather, and Caitlin Monte's traffic report keeps you in the know mornings from 6 to 9 on the Pix 11 Morning News, where every story hits home. Here we go to the Rays half of the 6th inning. Pierce, Morrison, Souza Jr. Rays leading 1-0. Well pitched by both starters today. Good job, Eovaldi, and certainly Jake Odorizzi. Pitch to Pierce, misses inside, ball 1. Pierce is struck out, fly to right. He's 0 for 2. The Rays have a run on 4 hits. The Yankees have no runs and no hits. Scooped out of the dirt by McCann. The count goes to 2-0 on Pierce. Eovaldi's had a good effort today. His offense has kind of let him down. The Yankees haven't got really anything going. As Pierce steps out. Pierce has a couple of singles, a home run, and a double in this series. Hits one through the right side against the shift, and it's a leadoff single here in the 6th inning. Hit number 5 for the Rays off Nathan Eovaldi.
Pierce continues his hot hitting, going against the shift. Fastball out over the plate and just drives it the other way.
Now 1 for 3 today, and 5 for 12 in the series against the Yankees. And he gives away to Logan Morrison, the first baseman, who today has struck out and grounded out. He's 0 for 2. And when we saw Morrison in New York earlier this year, in April, he was batting .049. So he's come a long way just to get up to 228 or whatever he's hitting right now. First pitch, lines it in his left center field for a base hit. Back-to-back singles for the Rays here in the 6th inning as Pierce stops at second. Yep, Morrison has come a long way.
That's just a good adjustment by Morrison early on in this game. Eovaldi was throwing that backdoor slider. Morrison got one up out over the plate, was looking for it, stayed on it, and drove it the other way.
Looking out towards the Yankee bullpen to see if anybody's going to start moving around out there. Not quite yet. Joe Girardi checking the matchups. As Souza Jr. will step in. Has a no contact afternoon going. He walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th.
Be careful. First pitch right here. We talked yesterday. Swings at the first pitch over 50% of the time. Very aggressive early in the count.
I think that's the highest rate in the league, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. And I think I read something the other day. To find a hitter that aggressive on the first pitch, you have to go back to Vladimir Guerrero, who would had the long arms and could reach just about anything. Former MVP in the American League. That pitch doesn't swing at that one, just off the corner. Well, we understand there was some good pitching going on in Toronto by the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey. Had a no-hitter going through 5 innings until Mookie Betts, so the Red Sox broke it up. There's a pitch for a strike, and it's 1-1 on Souza Jr. Nothing Toronto in that game. Jose Bautista with a home run. He's been hitting them, taking them like vitamins, 1 a day. Here's a pitch, and that is called strike 2 to Souza Jr. And the Yankees are going to have to deal with him for the next few days. Ball and 2 strikes on Steven Souza Jr. What Eovaldi has in store for him on this pitch. Two and two as he misses low 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, not messing around. The Souza Jr. 4 fastballs in a row. That one just hit triple digits.
Usually see the higher mile per hour pitches on fastballs that are up. That was one that was down. Call strike 3. 100 miles an hour. Maybe he didn't see it. He just heard it. 6 strikeouts, make it 7.
Well, there was no mixing and matching right there. It was just coming right at him with his best fastball. And the most important part, located perfectly down and away, and the 100 miles an hour doesn't hurt either. Great look from behind on the path of that fastball, perfectly located.
Still 1st and 2nd, and now there's 1 out for Corey Dickerson, who was struck out and grounded out. Eovaldi in a jam here in the 6th inning. Trying to hold the Rays at bay. Here's a pitch. Swung on it. Missed strike one. 99. He's reaching back for a little extra.
I'm loving this right here. Throw the game plan out the window. This rare back and fire. Looks like he can beat Corey Dickerson in that little window right above his belt, just underneath his hands, up and in.
That's where he struck him out back in the 2nd inning. Pitch is popped up. Let's see if there's a play for Torres. A long run, and he can't quite make the play. Good effort. Man, he was flying. Ball just tipped off his glove, and Dickerson's at bat will continue.
We talked about it early on. When Torres gets a start, he just seems to do something every time that you love. And this covering all this ground. A sliding bid to make the catch into the bench out in the bullpen. Great effort.
Couple of checks to see where he was, and you know this is made even more difficult because you're in an opposing ballpark. You're not really sure of the dimensions. Yankee Stadium, that would have been well back into the seats. Good effort by Torres. The count is now 0-2 on Dickerson. Eovaldi's been in trouble in the last 2 innings. Got out of it last inning, and now in a little hot water again here in the 6th. Ball is popped up, and this one will definitely be out of play. Eovaldi reaching back and staying around 100 miles an hour with these pitches. He and McCann are going to talk it over. Well ahead on the count, 0-2. How are they going to try and put Corey Dickerson away?
And they went to that fastball up and in again, and Dickerson was a little bit closer to being right on time that pitch. I wonder if that's part of the conversation now, proving that he can cover that spot and cover that speed. You might see the split down, try to get him to chase.
Well, I've got a couple pitches to work with here on an 0-2 count. The right-handed hitter, Mikey Matuk, is on deck. One ball and 2 strikes. The Rays won. The Yankees nothing here in the bottom of the 6th inning. If you're just joining us, Evan Longoria with a single in the 3rd to drive in the only run of the ball game. Fouled back. Dickerson had his best swing of the at bat.
Eovaldi got away with one right there. Fastball right down the middle. Brian McCann wanted it elevated. The pitch before was a split. That was probably the worst pitch Eovaldi has thrown this afternoon. But you get away with a fastball down the middle. Hitter has a good swing, and you know it.
Pitch count's getting up there, 92. Ball is popped up. This one is in play, and it's going to be Torres. Didn't have to go far for this one. He hauls it in for out number 2. So Dickerson is retired, and will leave it up to the center fielder, Mikey Matuk. Now, we told you that Eovaldi is 0-2 in his career to the Rays, but that only tells part of the story. He lost to him at Yankee Stadium on September the 5th. And that also was his last start of the year. His elbow began to bark, and the Yankees really missed him down the stretch last year. So 2 outs, 2 on, and it'll bring up Matuk, who's grounded 3rd and struck out. kind of a border war right here. Montook from Louisiana and Eovaldi from Texas. First pitch is outside for a ball. Back-to-back singles followed by a strikeout and a pop out. And Eovaldi put him away without any further damage. Misses outside again. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's Jake Odorizzi, who has been well, almost perfect. He's been perfect. Yeah, he's been perfect. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and it's swung on and missed. Strike 1. Eovaldi now up to 96 pitches as Joe Girardi looks on. Eovaldi's done his job today. The lack of run support so far has done him in. The 2-1 pitch outside, ball 3. Curt Casali, the number 9 hitter, the catcher, is on deck. Eovaldi has won his last 5 decisions. Been the Yankees' best pitcher. Ball is fouled at the plate. The count is full at 3-2. That will set the runners in motion on this 3-2 pitch. And when you say that, that's something to be said, because Sabathia's throwing the ball well. Tanaka's been excellent. And Nova, who's pitching tomorrow, is throwing the ball well for the Yankees. Nova gets the opening start in Toronto against Marco Estrada. The runners go to 3-2 pitch, and it's ball 4. The bases are loaded. Just the second walk handed out by Nathan Eovaldi, and they'll bring up Casali.
Well, with that pitch count getting up close to 100, you wonder if Joe Girardi's going to get somebody going.
Fans are reminded this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. So another big spot for Nathan Eovaldi, as we do see some movement in the Yankee bullpen. It's like Kirby Yates going to get up. Casali's 0 for 2, and he'll take the first pitch for a called strike. Eovaldi with 7 strikeouts today. His next strikeout will be the 500th of his career. And he'd like to get it right here and end the inning. A ball and a strike, or did he go? No, says first base umpire Gabe Morales. So it is a ball and a strike on Curt Casali. No place to put Casali. The bases are loaded. And Eovaldi will now jump over the 100 pitch mark in this game with his next offering. And he misses. 2 balls and a strike. That was close.
No question. Hunter Wendelstadt behind the plate all afternoon until this pitch. See Brian McCann trying to bring it back up to the strike zone.
Casali just 1 for his last 26. There's a called strike. Stayed with the slider. And the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
What a big pitch right there. Casali, you mentioned struggling. Kenny looking for a fastball, and that fastball count. He doesn't get it. He gets a little slider for a strike, and you could argue that one might be down too. Same pitch.
Don't want to go to 3-2. This should be the pitch of decision. It's on the way, and it's fouled off to the right. Ackley with a look, but that's all he's going to get. That's out of play. Yeah, that's a big part of the game. And I think that was a verbal sign. Just told him what he wanted to throw and maybe not give a sign when he goes back behind home plate.
Yeah, I'm sure they both have come to a decision on what they want to throw right here. You're right, Kenny. Such a big pitch. You don't want to go full count.
The pitch is on the way, and it's just outside ball 3, a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. And once again, this will set the runners in motion. Pierce from third, Morrison from second, and Montook from first.
Here we go. I'm sure Casale's looking for a fastball. If you're Eovaldi and you throw that slider for a strike, you're probably going to get him.
The payoff pitch popped up. Playable for Ackley. He's got it, and Eovaldi gets out of the jam. The Rays leave the bases full. You might want to call your friends. Odorizzi has a no-hitter going.
Jake Odorizzi has been on top of his game. 6 innings, has not given up a hit, run, has not walked anybody, and has struck out 5. 83 pitches to this point. He has faced the minimum Yankee batters in this game. Error by Brad Miller, the shortstop, on an Ackley ground ball. We got Torreyes to ground into a 4-6-3 double play to end the 6th inning. We're back to the top of the lineup. Jacoby Ellsbury. Fly out and a strikeout. If you look at Odorizzi on his starts this year, he's thrown 111 pitches in a game. That was the first start of the year for him against Toronto. Pitch count in pretty good shape at 85. Starting the 7th inning.
I think the key to any hitter when you're facing somebody who's throwing a no-hitter, as Dellin Betances is warming up, is getting ahead on the counts. Force him to get too much of the plate with a pitch.
Ellsbury had 2-1. It's a ground ball right up the middle. Miller makes the play, the throw, 1 down.
And there's an example. That pitch was a little bit towards the middle. Ellsbury hit it hard, but Miller makes the play. Miller ranging to his left, comes up with it cleanly. And a strong throw to Morrison for the out.
Kenny, I'm thinking about Kirk Casale behind the plate, and this is the point in the game, the 7th inning, where you start thinking about every sign you're putting down. You know, maybe the 5th and the 6th, you're like, well, my guy's throwing the ball well. He has a no-hitter. Now all of a sudden, you start stressing out a little bit.
It's the last time through the order. If he can maintain the ability to get people out here.
I think the best focus for both of them is just to concentrate on a one-run game. One swing of the bat could be the difference. Brett Gardner struck out, hit a fly ball to left field his last time.
And I always thought a pitcher who was attempting to throw a no-hitter or had a perfect game going, it was better for him if he didn't have much run support. Because
keep that focus,
keep the focus on each and every pitch, because it could mean the game.
Now here's a thought for you. Won't happen now, 1-2 count, but if Brett Gardner decided to try to lay down a bunt for a base hit in a one-run game, are you fine with it?
Yeah, I mean, he represents the tying run if he gets on, and of course he has the ability to steal bases. So
those unwritten rules, but not in a one-run game.
No, not in this game.
But obviously behind the count 1-2, it's not going to be happening here. Brett going through a tough stretch. Batting average down to .222. The 2-2 from Odorizzi. A foul ball. Again, a little more hop on that fastball than I remember. Beating a lot of Yankee hitters. His bench looking on.
Tried to pick off the inside corner, missed, and once again now full count. And this is a hitter that you don't want to walk. So are you looking for a fastball?
Looking for a fastball. He's been doing it all afternoon. 3-2, and he goes with the fastball but misses. Be the first walk of the afternoon, and Brett Gardner is on base. Rays lead 1-0. Manager Kevin Cash looking on. And Starlin Castro will come to the plate. He struck out and hit a ground ball his last time.
A couple of things to remember here. Odorizzi's only had to work from the stretch one time in today's game, and he got a double play. But he's got a hitter at the plate who can hit just about anything. And these guys are kind of dangerous. You make a good pitch and they can flip it into the outfield for a base hit.
Gardner taking his lead. He's not running. For 2 days we've been talking about the running game for the Yankees. Hank Conger behind the plate does not throw well. Kirk Casale, a different story. Good thrower, good defensive player. Starlin Castro ahead in the count 1-0. One thing we've also seen in this series, Kevin Cash not afraid to play a little hit and run. I don't see the Yankees play that game very often. Might be an opportunity here. Castro ahead in the count 1-0. He's been struggling a little bit lately. Gardner can run.
That's what the speed guys do. They distract pitchers. Thrown over the first. Sometimes that takes away your ability to focus on the target and make a good pitch.
Gardner not running. Castro hits his ball well to left center field. This has a chance. That ball is gone. Starlin Castro, a huge two-run home run. But with one swing of the bat, the no-hitter's gone, the shutout's gone, and the lead is now gone. As the Yankees take a 2-1 lead.
First hit of the game for the Yankees puts them in the lead. And also flash, sometimes following a walk. A pitcher trying to regain the strike zone. Throws one right down the middle, and Castro was waiting. He's going to convert this into 2 runs. Right down the chute, and it's out of here. Home run number 7 on the year for Starlin Castro. And if you look at Odorizzi on this follow through, he kind of knows what happened here. He's not getting this baseball back.
Nathan Eovaldi loves it. Dellin Betances in the bullpen. Eovaldi did his job today, and Starlin Castro comes through with a huge home run, his 7th of the year. Cedeno getting loose in the Rays pen.
Could have been a case of divided attention. Threw over a couple times at Gardner at first like he should, but still you got to make good pitches to the hitter. And that one was right down the middle. Castro did not miss it.
I'll tell you what, you could tell by Castro's reaction, he knew that he hit it well, but that is a long way out there.
That's where A-Rod hit his the other night.
So Brian McCann, who came into this game with big numbers against Odorizzi, 0 for 2. Weak ground ball down the first base line. They get in fair territory. Odorizzi does. So McCann 0 for 3.
Let's take a look. This is history out the window for the Rays. And Jake Odorizzi. A home run well over 400 feet off the bat of Starlin Castro.
Pitching coach Jim Hickey going to come out to the mound.
This gives Cedeno a little bit more time to warm up. I think he should be ready. As relievers, it takes about 10 pitches and they're ready to come in. Took Mariano, what about 3 and he's ready.
Odorizzi's going to stay in there to face Alex Rodriguez, who's 0 for 2. Struck out, hit a ground ball back to the pitcher. Rays going with the shift on Alex. Big swing, foul ball. That conversation there is from Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, is the letdown. You know, when you're going for the no-hitter, all of a sudden one swing of the bat and you fall behind, and you have the dangerous Alex Rodriguez up at the plate who swings and misses at a high fastball.
Yeah, he's probably going to concentrate here because if you make a mistake, you could have another run up on the board.
Odorizzi heading the count 0-2. Starting to see Alex swing at that high fastball a little bit more. Tough to lay off.
Yeah, it's definitely a borderline pitch, and pitchers who ride the fringe of the strike zone, they get a lot of strikeouts on that pitch. You know, it looks good to the hitter. It's up near their eyes, but it's really tough to get on top of.
Be a 2-2. Goes with that split. Alex fouls it off. Mark Teixeira scurrying around a little bit in that dugout.
He might be thinking about becoming a defensive replacement.
Swing and a miss by Alex Rodriguez. Another high fastball. The Yankees had not been able to do anything against Odorizzi for 6 innings, but that all changes with one swing of the bat. Starlin Castro, a 2-run shot. Yankees take a 2-1 lead, and the no-hitter is gone. Well, things changed awfully quickly with that one swing of the bat from Starlin Castro. Yankees lead 2-1. Eovaldi was outstanding. So was Jake Odorizzi. Castro in his home run, and Evan Longoria an RBI single going the other way in the 3rd inning. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Dellin Betances pitching the bottom of the 7th. These are his numbers, and they are outstanding. 1 and 2, the 2.01 ERA, and the 44 strikeouts. Finishing up his warm-up tosses, and we're going to look at the Rays in-game box score, which is brought to you by ChevyOffers.com. Geyer having a big day, 2 for 3. Miller talked about that RBI single from Longoria. Pierce and Morrison with base hits. Mark Teixeira, who was out on the field taking ground balls earlier before the game, swinging the bat, goes in as a defensive replacement for Dustin Ackley. There's Castro cruising around second base, has to feel awfully good about that swing of the bat. His 7th home run of the year gives the Yankees a lead, and Jake Odorizzi, who was outstanding for 6 innings, will be thinking about that one swing of the bat from Starlin Castro.
So near, and yet so far he trails right now as Betances comes in the game for the Yankees.
They'll face the top of the lineup: Brandon Geyer, Brad Miller, Evan Longoria. Dellin pitched Thursday at Yankee Stadium, hasn't pitched yet in this series. We'll get ahead with a first pitch swing on a check swing. So this is the formula: get a lead to the 7th inning and go with the big 3 who are well rested. Betances trying to do his part here in the 7th.
And when other teams get themselves in this situation, it's like being in the no fun zone. These are 3 pitchers who could take all the fun out of hitting.
Betances with his 44 strikeouts leads all major league relievers. He's going for number 45 right here, heading to count 1 and 2 on Brandon Geyer.
Yeah, he's got 2 ways to go: a near 100-mile-an-hour fastball and a sharp breaking ball.
Well, he goes with the breaking ball. McCann blocks it, gets an angle. 1 down here in the 7th.
Number 13, shortstop Brad Miller.
With one down, it would be Brad Miller. He had a single in the first.
Thinking about Odorizzi again. Remember, he walked Gardner on a 3-2 pitch. It kind of set up that hole at bat for Castro. Threw over the first base, what, 2, maybe 3 times to check on Gardner, and then laid one right down the middle and changed the game.
I think back to that 3-2 pitch to Brett Gardner when he yanked it down and in. Odorizzi for the first time showed some emotion, some frustration.
Okay.
Obviously not happy with himself, and then you're right, making sure Gardner wasn't running and laid one right in there for Castro. Betances ahead in the count quickly again. 0-2 goes with that curveball. Pulled foul.
But what an imposing figure he is on the mound. I mean, if you come up to hit and you see somebody just staring down on him like he's looking out of a 3rd-story window.
We'll do it again. The 0-2 and another breaking ball, fisted, a looping line drive right to Torreyes. 2 quick outs.
Then you got Andrew Miller comes in. He's about the same height. Just throwing with the other hand.
Two down at the Evan Longoria has been right in the middle of it against Eovaldi. Had an RBI base hit in the 3rd going the other way with 2 outs. And that deep fly ball in front of the right field wall in the 5th. Get his first look at Betances. Longoria 1 for 11 in his career against Dellin Betances.
That might be why right there. This pitch is like kryptonite for right-handed hitters. You go up there thinking you're Superman and oh.
Another one. Chapman in that Yankee dugout going to get himself a little bit of water, probably trot down to the bullpen. Yankees hoping Chapman's going to be a factor at the end of this one. The 1-2 to Longoria. Betances goes upstairs with the fastball. Just a show pitch there, Kenny.
Yeah, just you know, he's got him to swing and miss at 1 hook and take another for a strike. Maybe this be the real downer.
There it is. Hunter Wendelstadt behind the plate with the call. So Dellin Betances, a smooth 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th. A couple of strikeouts mixed in there. The big curveball to Evan Longoria locks him up. Yankees lead 2-1. Score is brought to you by ChevyOffers.com. All you need to look at is one swing of the bat right there from Starlin Castro. A 2-run home run in the difference in this game to this point. Manager Kevin Cash is making his call to the bullpen. This is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'.
It's going to be Xavier Cedeno. We saw him yesterday. He worked 2/3 of an inning, got a couple of ground ball outs in the Rays' 9-5 victory. And the first man he will face will be Didi Gregorius, followed by Aaron Hicks, and then Mark Teixeira here in the top half of the 8th inning. Yankees leading 2-1. Gregorius is flied out twice, once to right, once to left, takes a pitch for a call strike. Of course, we hope everybody is having a safe and happy holiday weekend, and we'd be remiss if we didn't salute all the veterans out there, past and present, who have provided us with our freedoms, protecting our country, and of course those who made the ultimate sacrifice. One out now as Gregorius flies out here in the 8th inning. Aaron Hicks, yep, Old Glory.
Right fielder.
There's stars and stripes. Hicks today batting left-handed, grounded out twice to Pierce at second, now batting right-handed against the lefty Cedeno. Swing and a miss, strike one. Andrew Miller would be next for the Yankees. Should be coming on in the bottom of the 8th. Cedeno drops a hook in there, and he quickly jumps ahead on the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
Big backdoor hook right there from Cedeno. Probably looked like it was in the Rays dugout, and then just clipped the outside corner.
Kind of an awkward swing by Hicks, but he fights it off and fouls it off. Chase Henley doing some stretching over there. He might be coming in defensively. Robbie Thompson, bench coach, talking to him. Let's see. Might be looking for his glove. Once again, the 0-2 pitch, and it's hit hard on the ground from Miller at short. Throw to first is in time. 2 outs for the Yankees here in the 8th. Here is Mark Teixeira. He's missed the last few days. Been out with neck spasms. Been getting treatment, including cortisone shots. And this will be his first at bat. Gets a nice round of applause as he steps in for the first time in this series. You can see the average at 195, 3 home runs. All 3 of those homers came in the first 7 games of the season. Cedeno misses with a breaking ball. It's downstairs for ball 1. Teixeira has not played in the last 4 games. He'll take a pitch for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. He drove in a run in Oakland last weekend. Helped the Yankees win a ball game.
Infield single.
Yeah, it was. In fact, it tied the game, and then there was a hit following his that put the Yankees in the lead. 2 balls and a strike on the veteran first baseman. Yankees looking for some insurance here as we're in the 8th inning. That's ball 3. Now we did mention, as Meredith Marakovich told us earlier, that Teixeira did take batting practice from both sides of the plate before the game. And this is the first day in a while that he's done so because of those neck spasms. The 3-1 pitch. And he hits it in the air to center. Broken bat. The ball's going to carry all the way to Montook in center. The Yankees go in order here in the top of the 8th. Andrew Miller will be coming in when we come back. Brought to you by Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And you can see it, only one hit for the Yankees, but it was a big one. Starlin Castro with a 2-run home run in the 7th inning. And erased a 1-0 Rays lead. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. New pitcher in the ball game for the New York Yankees. It's going to be Andrew Miller. As the tall lefty comes on for the 21st time this year. You can see his record. 6 saves and 7 opportunities, a 0.92 ERA that barely registers. 19 2/3 innings, 35 strikeouts, and 1 walk. He gets Pierce, Morrison, and Souza Jr. for the Rays here in the 8th inning. Yankees 2, the Rays 1. Pierce had a single his last time off Nathan Eovaldi, and the first pitch from Miller is a little bit low for ball 1. Erasmo Ramirez is warming up for the Rays down the right field line. Breaking ball that hits the corner. It's 1-1. Tough hitter for left-handed pitchers this year. Steve Pearce hitting .400 against lefties. Off the corner, and it's 2 balls and a strike. 95 miles an hour from Miller. The 2-1 pitch hit on the ground towards third, and it's a foul ball as Torres corrals it. We saw Headley moving around in the dugout, but Torres is still in there at third base.
There are the numbers you're talking about, Kenny. .400 against lefties, 5 home runs, 13 RBIs. Andrew Miller and Brian McCann, you just want to make sure with that slider you bury it down and in and bounce it if you need to. That would be the mistake pitch, one that's just spinning right in the middle of the plate with speed. Steve Pearce's bat up a little bit. He's been hot lately.
As we said, he has 5 hits in this series. The 2-2 pitch is on the way, and it's swung on it. Missed strike 3. He got it. 1 down. Betances and Miller have now struck out 3 of the 4 batters they've faced.
That's exactly how you draw it up. Finishes off the plate inside, and Pierce swings right over the top of it.
Rays batters have now struck out 10 times in the game today. Here's Logan Morrison, who's 1 for 3. He had a base hit his last time. And the first pitch is low for ball one. And we think back to Eovaldi pitching. He was in trouble last day in the 6th. Back-to-back singles by Pierce and Morrison, but then he got out of a bases loaded jam. That's one of the turning points in this game. That's over the corner, 1-1. Fouled back. A good swing by Morrison, who's been a hot hitter lately, but that might have been a pitch to hit. And now he's in the hole, a ball and 2 strikes. Flash if you catch him. What are you calling here?
Well, it's a big time slider. You got a few of them you can throw, obviously ahead in the count, 1 and 2.
Didn't get it close enough, and Morrison holds off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eovaldi struck out 7, Betances 2. Miller now has 1 strikeout in the lone batter he's faced. Strike 3 call. Morrison caught looking. 2 down. Another slider.
You see Logan Morrison, his front hip just buckles a little bit, freezes, gets locked up.
Two down, and here is Steven Souza Jr.
A great look at the rotation on that slider, and it finishes up pretty much middle of the plate.
Souza Jr. has walked and struck out twice. Swing and a miss, strike 1. That was the ankle biter. Yankees 2, Rays 1 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 outs, nobody on. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Andrew Miller a pitch away from striking out the side. Backs him off the plate, and it's 1 and 2. That's an attention getter. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Andrew Miller strikes out Pierce, Morrison, and Souza. Yankees baseball is brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealer. Hurry into your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2016 models. By Bowmore Lanes. Nobody throws a party like Bowmore. Plan your next event at Bowmore Lanes. By M&T Bank. What's important to you is important to us at M&T Bank. Learn more at mtb.com/meetus. I'm headed out that way after the ball game.
There you go.
Towards the beach. Erasmo Ramirez will make his first appearance of the series. He's worked both as a starter and as a reliever for these Rays. And he'll face Ronald Torreyes, who has struck out and grounded into a double play. And Torreyes picks on the first pitch and fouls it off for strike one. Here's Andrew Miller. Set him down like 3 flat tires last inning. Struck out Pierce swinging, Morrison looking, and Souza swinging. That just missed the Torreyes, and it's a ball and a strike. Erasmo Ramirez, this early in the season, is 6-2. He's only had 1 start. He's gotten some decisions out of the bullpen. Ground ball towards second. Pierce gobbles it up, throws him out. There's 1 out for the Yankees here in the top of the 9th inning.
And Ramirez, that guy out of the bullpen who throws multiple innings, is Chapman getting loose. Yankees happy when they have the lead. He only has to throw 1 inning.
Number 22,
Ellsbury. 0 for 3. In fact, we should mention that only 1 Yankee has a hit today. Starlin Castro. But it was for the distance. A 2-run homer in the 7th. That's the difference in the ball game. 1 out, nobody on. Ellsbury up here in the 9th. And he foul tips it into the glove of Casale. For a second, the way Casale reacted there, I thought it was another catcher's interference. There's the hitting hero for the Yankees today. As far as the box score goes, he's the only one who can smile. Ball's hit on the ground to short for Miller. Ellsbury is out, number 2. Well, 2 teams have won this year with only 1 hit. The Rangers beat the Mariners with 1 hit on the first game of the season, April 4th. And the Mariners beat the Royals with 1 hit this year. So can the Yankees become the 3rd team to win with just 1 hit? Ground ball. Pierce has it. It's going to have to hurry. He does, and the Yankees go in order. 3 ground ball outs here in the top of the 9th. Chapman will be coming on to try and close this one out. New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better with Time Warner Cable. Call 1-855-1-TWC. By Modell Sporting Goods, your fan gear headquarters. Come on, Bronx Bomber fans, you gotta go to Moe's. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. There's the Yankee closer, Aroldis Chapman. He's coming in, trying to close this one out. 6 for 6 in save opportunities. 13 strikeouts, only 1 walk on the season. And he'll face Dickerson, Montook, and Casali, the bottom third of the order for the Rays here in the 9th inning. Betances, Miller, and now Chapman. That's the formula for the Yankees. First pitch is lifted down the left field line. A long drive, Gardner on the run, and this is a foul ball out of play. So Dickerson, with a long strike, will have to come back to home plate.
The Yankees, you hold your breath a little bit there going down the left field line. It's only 3:15 and then quickly jets out. This ball had some slice on it. Last time we saw Chapman in a game was Friday night. Struck out 2 1/3 of an inning. Hard to do.
Dickerson is 0 for 3. Struck out, grounded out, and popped out. Yankees protecting a 2-1 lead. Chapman going for save number 7 on the season. Ball is fouled back and out of play, and Dickerson's in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes.
Oh, what the Corey Dickerson is not afraid to turn it loose.
He is leaning back.
He's banking on the fact that he's going to get a fastball from Chapman, and that's a pretty good chance that's going to happen, and he's letting it fly.
It's hard to catch up to when it's near 100 miles an hour. Let's see if they have a trick for him on this pitch. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball just missed the corner. 102 miles an hour.
Dickerson swinging hard, and Chapman's throwing a little bit harder, dialing it up to 102 just off the plate.
I got oohs and ahs from the crowd here. 19,748 in attendance on this Sunday afternoon at Tropicana Field. Swung at in this strike 3, a fastball at 101. Let's take a quick look at the out-of-town scores. We're brought to you by your Tri-State BMW Centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Top of the 8th at Rogers Center, 3-2. The Red Sox are leading. The Orioles are leading Cleveland. Washington also over St. Louis at this point of the game. Cincinnati 4-2. The White Sox trying to break a 5-game losing streak. They're up 3-2. And the Chicago Cubs, they keep rolling along. It's 5-0 over the Phillies in the 5th. So Chapman strikes out at batter. And to bring up Mikey Montook, who's grounded out, struck out, and drawn a base on balls, and he'll foul the first pitch off for strike 1. Six of the 7 batters that Betances, Miller, and Chapman have faced have struck out. The lone exception is Brad Miller hit a soft line drive to Torres at third. The formula seems to be working, Flash. Went with a slider that hung a little high, a ball and a strike. So far, when the Yankees and Joe Girardi have gotten the opposition to this point, the Yankees are 22-0, leading after 7 innings. Ball is hit in the air down the right field line. Coming over is Hicks, and he reaches out and holds on. He overran the ball and made the adjustment and makes the catch for out number 2. It looked like he was concerned at exactly where he was, but still maintains the ability to get the play done.
Covers a lot of ground going into that bullpen for the Rays. Overruns it and then makes a nice athletic play, reaching back, able to hold on. Took his eyes off the ball maybe just a little bit right there. Nice play, able to recover.
Yeah, you mentioned that might not be the best thing to do here in day games. Take your eye off the ball because the ball blends in with the roof. So Desmond Jennings will hit for Curt Casale. Comes off the bench. And he represents the last chance for the Rays. Casale had been 0 for 3. Jennings is a pinch hitter this year. Has only had one at bat. He's 0 for 1. The 1-0 pitch. Little chopper foul, and the count will leave it at a ball and a strike.
You sit on the bench for 8 innings, and then you got to come in and pinch hit against a guy throwing 100. You're going to take some funny swings. I'd be a little surprised at this. I know Casale has been struggling, but he has a little power. With Kevin Cash going with Jennings.
A hitter who has been struggling. Jennings 1 for his last 17. Gets the call here to keep things going for the Rays. In there with a slider, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Rays down to their last strike. I should mention when Betances came in, it was the 7th. When the Yankees are leading after 6 innings, they are 18-1. After 7 and 8, they are undefeated. Pitch is fouled off. Jennings just got a piece of it. You saw a shot of Starlin Castro there. We've always said sometimes a game can be decided by 1 swing of the bat. This might be it. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The Yankees win this one by a score of 2-1. Chapman strikes out 2 in the 9th. The formula has worked again. Castro with the big hit, as the Yankees will celebrate winning 2 out of 3 here against the Rays at Tropicana Field over the weekend. The Yankees with just 1 hit in the ball game, and the last time the Yankees were able to win a game with only 1 hit was July 10th, 1914. They beat the Cleveland Indians. And there is your hitting hero, Starlin Castro, following a walk to Brett Gardner. It's a 400-foot home run to left center field. Here's the final pitch of the game as Jennings swings through it, and the Yankees are winners here this afternoon. We'll be back with more as the Yankees take 2 out of 3 from the Rays here at Tropicana Field.
Yep, we're good.